Hey guys, welcome back, my fabulous listeners. It's the Vaughn Joseph Show. We've been gone, we are back. It's where we bring you the stories and voices that keep the world buzzing. Today, we've got a treat for you that's as exciting as a Hollywood premiere. So imagine this, a 19-year-old dreamer from Brooklyn, New York, armed with raw talent and a passion for the spotlight, packs his bags and head west to LA. Fast forward a few years, and not only is he an accomplished actor, but he's also making waves as a producer. Joining us today is Yakov Kolontarov, a name you're going to want to remember. He's gone from New York to LA, and now he's here to talk about his brand new film, She Goes to Hollywood. Welcome to the show. It took us some doing. We finally got it all together, and here we are. Yeah, man, it's an absolute pleasure. I'm always excited to hear what people are doing in LA, because it's such a crazy, exciting place. And I was just telling my partner this earlier. You never know what you're getting when you're in LA. Are you originally from LA, or are you a transplant? Did you move there from somewhere else?
So I've been living in California for 10 years now. I grew up originally in Brooklyn, New York, but I was originally born in Israel. But I've been growing up in the United States since the age of 7. So basically, I'm Americanized now. So I've been here for a while.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What made you decide to leave Brooklyn? Because that's like a pretty up and coming. It's not even up and coming anymore. It's just done. Brooklyn is hot right now.
Yeah, Brooklyn is great. I love Brooklyn. I had a great experience growing up there. It's just, I love California. I wanted to pursue entertainment here, and the weather here is awesome. And you get to do a lot of places you can venture off to, do different hikes, and meet a lot of interesting people in LA, In New York, it was great, but I couldn't do the weather because every year I would get sick over there when it would get cold. And I hated taking the subway. I love driving. I'm a driver, so that's why I moved out here, and it's beautiful. Nothing beats California weather, compared to all this, the states in the world.
Yeah. If you're a driver, California, you have to be a driver if you're in California.
Yes.
So it's not a walkable place, especially not LA. I lived there for 10 years as well. Before moving back to, or not back to, but moving to England. And my decision to move to LA was the exact reason you left Brooklyn. I'm originally from New York, and I grew up in Michigan. And one day I was heading to work, and I had to go outside and shovel this long ass driveway to get my car out of the snow. And I was like, I gotta go to California. I'm not going to New York. And that was the decision. I was like, should I go to New York? There's more culture. There's, it's kind of closer to home, so I can, get back and forth to Detroit easier. Or should I go to California? And that one day just made the decision for me. And when I made that decision, I had some friends that I was working with at a bar, and they both were moving to LA. So I was like, this is perfect. Off we go, man. We're out of here. How do you find living in LA right now? You said you were originally from Israel, and obviously there's something, I hate to go political. Right. I don't even really touch on this, but I'm just curious because I know it's such an impossibly major thing right now that's taking place culturally. I just got back from the States a little over a week ago, and it's tough. It's difficult, I would imagine, for yourself, because there's probably friends on both sides and maybe even business associates on both sides. How do you navigate that right now?
Well, I always send out love and peace to everyone, Doesn't matter where you come from or who you are. I'm always, I grew up in Brooklyn, and that is like the most diverse state you can go to. So going to high school, I grew up with all kinds of kids around the world, and I just, made sure I found my ways to get along with them. I didn't judge anyone for where they come from or their religion, because at the end of the day, we all have a brain and we all have a heart. We all have kind of the same things, so it doesn't matter what the outside, it's the inside that really matters to me. And to me, I just look at it in a positive light, and I always send peace and love to everyone, so everyone can get along. I know it's hard for a lot of people, but I've always found ways to make peace with whoever you are and wherever you come from or whatever you believe in, you know. So that's how I navigate through life. I know it's difficult now, especially what's going on. I grew up with a lot of Palestinian friends who, you know, who are my great friends in New York. And I'm Israeli. I grew up with a lot of Israeli kids. So, you know, as long as people promote peace rather than violence, you know, find ways to bring people together and make peace. And I think that will kind of set the tone for the rest of the world on how we should react to things, you know.
Yeah, it would be great if more people lived like that and took that ideology, because we'd get a lot more done. I feel we would get a lot more done in a positive way instead of going back and forth in these negative circles that I feel that we tend to move within a lot of times, because we're just trying to get something done for ourselves instead of just something done for everybody. So, but that's a good way to move, and I appreciate that. So, how are you finding LA outside of that? I mean, you've been there for a long enough time to know if you like it or not. So, is it working
Oh
out
yeah, I
for you?
love LA. I mean, the first few years was difficult, obviously, because I don't know no one, and I had to really work my way up. And you know, you have your ups and downs, just like anywhere in life, especially in LA. You know, you meet everyone is different, and everyone here has a goal, and that's what I love. You know, everyone has a goal, and they're ambitious enough to go after that goal. A lot of people leave their family behind to pursue this dream that they want. And I'm glad I took that risk. You know, I'm glad that I took the ambitious drive to come out here at a young age of 19. When I was 19 at the time, I came out here. So it's a great place, and you meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of talented people, and you can do so much with them, you know, and create a collaboration with those kind of people. I myself have made so much projects since being here, and I've met a lot of interesting people. I have just made the movie She Goes to Hollywood. You know, I produced it and I starred in it. And I love it because this movie itself kind of represents what it takes to be a celebrity or someone famous in Hollywood. You know, you just got to go after that dream, you know, and you meet a lot of funny people around the way, a lot of people who do, you know, crazy things, but that's the excitement of it. You know, you can't have life boring and be stuck in this one bubble place. You got to go out there and experience the world, you know, because we're all here in a short amount of time. And I always look at it as like, go out there, you know, experience it. Don't be stuck in this, you know, small town that you feel like is your apartment or your home, you know, and explore yourself, meet people, because at the end of the day, we're all social beings and we're all trying to discover ourselves, you know, what we're good at and what we can achieve in life. So, yeah.
You went there at a great time, because 19, when I moved to LA, I was 30. I was your age that you are almost right now, right? And I got there and it was great in the beginning. You meet cool people, like you said. You have these unique experiences that you're not going to have anywhere else. You're going to the beach on Christmas, you know, stuff like that. Quickly, I got to a point where I was too old to play 19 to 25 or 25 to 30 or whatever anymore, and too young to play the older guys. So, and I always would tell people, thinking about moving to LA, how old are you? Go right now. Go before you get to be 30. If you can go to LA, guys, in your 20s, that's when you're going to have the most productive time, is in your 20s in LA. LA loves you when you're in your 20s. They can mold you. They'll put you in stuff, and it's really, really a hot time to be there. So you got there at a really, really good time. And the fact you said you're collaborating with a lot of people, so many talented people. When I was there, totally different time. There wasn't as much internet interaction. We didn't have strong YouTube. YouTube was for like cat videos and stuff like that, you know. So you guys are really, really winning in that regard. Tell me about She Goes to Hollywood. What's it about, and when can people go see it?
So The film will be out on June 6th in Los Angeles, California. The tickets are on my Instagram if you want to buy it, on Eventbrite as well. You just write She Goes to Hollywood and you will see all the information. Now, the film is about this woman named Mary. She's trying to pursue Hollywood. She doesn't know what she wants to do in Hollywood, and she's kind of like stuck in this place, and she just wants to go out there and explore. And she lives with a man named Bill, who I play her boyfriend. The lead actress is played by Marcella Rea, a talented actress and a talented dancer. And she kind of tells her boyfriend that she wants to go pursue something in Hollywood. And there's different scenarios, as you see in the trailer that I have out there. She's like, maybe I should go become an XX actress. And the boyfriend is like, oh, fuck. I got to deal with this, you know, because she doesn't know what she wants. She just wants to get famous. You know, she wants to be rich and successful and prove to the world. And along the way, she meets different characters in Hollywood. She goes to Hollywood Boulevard. She meets a guy that looks like, you know, an impersonation of Michael Jordan. And he's trying to give her some advice. And then she meets another person, another guy who's dressed as a cat girl. And he's trying to make a living, and he's giving advice. So she meets all these interesting characters. And her boyfriend, Bill, is kind of like, he's trying to be supportive, and he's kind of trying to make her realize that it's a tough place to make it in Hollywood. And one of the lines in the trailer, I say, yeah, it's for the unemployed, the homeless, and your big dream, you know? That's what Hollywood is about, you know? So there's a lot of comic elements to it. It was directed by and written by Jason Batish. He's produced a film called The Hitcher Girl in the past. He's very talented. He wrote it. And yeah, we brought these characters together, and it just shows the Hollywood and how it is and the lifestyle. We actually shot it on Hollywood Boulevard, the movie. And also in Pasadena, California. So, yeah, it's really fun. It's a fun movie. It has a romantic comedy twist to it, so it's really good.
Nice. How did you find Hollywood when you got there? So was it easy for you did you already have representation in New York? So when you went to like LA, you had rep when you got there, or did you have to find representation? Because 19's young. 19 is, you're ambitious. You're starry-eyed at 19, and you got a different energy about you. So are you even repped right now? Because I know when I was in LA, a lot of the times I spent there, I did a lot of self-booking. I didn't really even have a quality agent. My agent threw parties, so they were always trying to get you to come and go spend money and go drink and do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, I didn't have representation. The way I moved out to California was me and my brothers back in New York. We were very young, and this is when YouTube was hot. Me and my brothers, we just sat down. We're like, hey, let's just make fun short films, you know? We would, like, film our own stuff in New York. We'll make, like, short films or episodic web series, and we would just upload on YouTube. And this is when YouTube was just kind of new, and people were just trying to discover what it is. So we would just upload videos of it. And then people would see us. We would see us do like these videos. And they're like, hey, you want to be part of my project? And I was like, sure. Hey, you want to help me produce my project? And I'm like, okay. So I kind of grew that way. And then that's why I moved to California. I moved here alone. And I saved up money to move out here. You know, it's not easy, you know, to move out. Or anyone who says that, hey, you know, let me move out here, it's not easy. You got to save up money and actually move out here so your expenses are right. So, you know, I met a guy here. He kind of said, hey, I want to make this movie, this superhero movie I was trying to do. So I moved out here for that, but that didn't work out. But ever since then, I've been just hustling, you know, grinding. You know, I had to work, obviously, a normal job, you know. Unfortunately, I don't come from wealth, so I had to really work and also pursue this dream of, you know, being in Hollywood, you know.
That's not unfortunate, actually. Honestly, I don't think it is. I think you're better off in the status that you are because you're more hungry. It's literally that simple. When I came to LA, much like yourself, I had some money put up so I can go there, and I goofed around for a bit. You know, I got settled, and then I started looking for work and so on. But I hooked up with somebody, and she had wealth. But that's not why I hooked up with her. But it just so happened that she had wealth, and I got really lazy. I got really complacent with my craft because we're going on trips and, you know, we're doing stuff. I don't have to grind. If you don't have to grind, forget it. And I don't know if you're into comedy or not. 90% of the comedians that are successful all come from adverse situations growing up. Almost none of them come from wealthy backgrounds except for like a few, you know? And that's what makes real good quality content, I feel, is that character building life that you had before you went forward. Like you were into bodybuilding. Most actors aren't into bodybuilding. So tell me about that, because that's a big accomplishment. You won a couple championships as well, right? Doing natural bodybuilding?
Yes, I won twice. This was back in New York. I did it during my teenage, in my teenage years, I would do that. I did like about 22 shows. I got a couple of placings in each one. I did it naturally. A lot of these shows are not natural, but I did the natural shows, so it was all natural bodybuilding. I loved it. That was my dream, is to be a bodybuilder and be successful. But then I realized that I hate the dieting in bodybuilding. I hate the meal plans because it's just you go through the mood, and when you're hungry, you're just angry all the time, and I just didn't like that.
Bro,
So I kind of was like, I'm done with this. I did my time and I loved it. I won twice. I'm good to go. I accomplished what I needed. It's a tough sport. It's a mental thing and a physical thing. So you really need to be there mentally and physically. You need to be really, really strong and have the genes for it, which was really hard, because you need to have every aspect of your body big and nice and striations. And some people are just born with genetics. And unfortunately, I didn't have the genetics and mentality to keep up with that kind of sport. It's a tough sport.
Well, to maintain to maintain a healthy diet, period, for anybody, most people, is a challenge. But that diet for like not even pre-show, but just like period, the bodybuilder's diet is insane. I have friends and they're just doing, well, I call them on a Sunday and I'm like, hey, we're podcasting. You guys want to come and do this? That, dude, we're doing meal prep today. They'll be doing meal prep for the week, like all day. They're like making all this chicken and I got to make all this rice and, and they're putting all these containers together. That's hard work, bro. That's super hard work. So that I commend you for even doing it long enough to get 2 championships, bro. That is crazy difficult. What's been like?
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's super cool because I could never do it. I remember once when I was in LA, because I've always been into weightlifting, and like you said, you have to have genetics and so on. If I just train arms like once a month, my arms are fine. If I trained arms like I trained the rest of my bodies, I would look like those guys that stick what's it called? What's that stuff? The oil or whatever they're putting in their bodies. My arms would just that garbage. They just get too big. So I was only genetically blessed in the arms department, so I couldn't do that. But I lost my train of thought. What do you think is like? I can't believe I just lost my train of thought. It's like I just had a coffee too. I should be good to go.
It's all right.
What do you think would happen if you weren't acting right now? Because it's a really tough industry, like you said. I know we had the strike last year. I remember going through the strike. I'm in England, and we were really struggling, and we're not even dealing with the type of level of production that you guys are. What was like? How did that feel? What was that vibe like? And has it recovered for you and your area?
Well, I've been lucky. When the strike happened, I actually was the busiest ever. Like, I was making a movie after movie. I was really busy. That was a blessing because I remember seeing the strike, but for some reason, people hired me as a producer, as the star of the film. So I got really busy and I loved it. I was lucky enough to be busy. I mean, even when the strike happens, you can still find work out there, like non-union work, small stuff, or even do collaboration with your friends, and start a project yourself, to try to stay busy. The good thing now is you can create a movie and put it out there yourself and make your own marketing and make your own money. There's no guarantee you're going to make a lot of money, but you do it because you love doing it and you want to do it for the art and you just want people to go watch it. And even if they don't, it's something to look back at and be like, I did this film. And then it's up to you how you want to market it. We live in a great time where you can do your own project and control your own project. And we see that every day now. A lot of people are creating these amazing movies without the big studios, the big major studios. They're doing it themselves and they're doing a great job. So I was lucky during the strike. And to answer your second question, if I was not acting right now, I would probably be a wrestler, like a WWE wrestler, because that was my dream. I always wanted to be a WWE wrestler, and I used to do backyard wrestling. I really was into it, and I did that for a long time too. And one day I was doing a backyard wrestling match, and some guy, he's bigger than me, he lifted me up and dropped me on my head, and I had a mini concussion. And I was like, I'm done with this. I'm never doing this again. But the good thing about that was after I decided to quit wrestling, like WWE style wrestling, somebody saw my footages online. They saw me wrestling because I was going under a different name. And they started offering me like independent contracts to come to their promotions. But I was like, I'm done. I made up my mind. I don't want to get hurt anymore. But if WWE offered me a contract, I would, in a heartbeat, I would go in there and take it because I can trust their medical team. I trust that I won't get hurt. But I mean, you can get hurt, but still, they have a medical team that I can trust.
Yeah, it's a bit more organized than the backyard stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I remember I worked right before I moved to LA. Actually, I worked at this bar in downtown Detroit, and they had like one night every like maybe once a month, was it? They would have like backyard wrestling. They would have like, I don't know what the call letters were, but it was, some local wrestling type thing. And these guys would be running out of the bar, like body slamming each other on the cars parked in front of the place. I was like, what the hell's going on right now? I'm just checking IDs, These people are out in the street with these singlettes on, and somebody's got the Nacho Libre mask on, and he's holding this guy up. He's like, out in the street, and he's chucking him on the. I was like, Jesus, man, I need to work on the inside on these nights, man. This is bonkers.
Good times
out here on the sidewalk. Yeah, absolutely. I would imagine so. Especially when you're younger, your body can take it. I mean, you're not getting dropped on your head. I mean, nobody wants to be pile drived or anything like that. But I mean, you're definitely more resilient when you're younger. You snap back a bit quicker than when you get older. You can only do that but for so long.
That's true.
Yeah. What would you tell somebody they're 19? They're in Brooklyn right now. They're like, do I stay here and hope I get a reoccurring role on Law and Order? Or do I move to LA? Or maybe they want to, I know we don't really have a theater in LA. There's no theater district, but that's a joke. But what would you tell somebody that's sitting on the fence right now? Because I know it's hard for a lot of people to take that leap. That's a big leap. Because that's so completely culturally different to go from New York to LA. So that, I mean, that in and of itself, even if you're just going for a regular job, is tough. What would you tell somebody that's thinking about going to LA as an actor, as a 19, 20-year-old person today? Because it was a little different back when you made the leap.
Well, the first thing I would say is before you pursue any dream, try it first. Try it. Let's say if you want to be an actor, get on a film set. Do it for free if you have to. Do research on it. Do a lot of research to know the positives, the negatives, the pros and cons. Because sometimes I know a lot of my friends in the past who moved out here who kind of, they were here for 3 years, they pursued acting, and then they decided to quit. They were like, I'm done with this. And the sad part is they left their family and friends back home to pursue this. And then they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm going to stay here because they love LA now and they don't want to move here. But that's the sad part. You sacrifice so much to come out here. So my advice would be is to go out there and try it. And if you don't like it, at least you have a support system to go back to, which is your family or friends that you can, kind of fall back on if it doesn't work out, because it's not for everyone. It gets lonely. It gets really lonely in LA because you meet a lot of people, and you don't have family here most of the time when you move out there. And if you do, great, stick with your family. And sometimes when you move out here alone, you have no friends, and you kind of feel like you said, you can get lazy easily too, because you're stuck in your mentality of being like, I don't want to do this anymore because nothing is working out. But if you really want it, and you have the vision for it, which I do, I have the vision of where I want to go, then you'll make sacrifices. You will not let obstacles get in your way. You'll find ways, screw the excuses. You'll find ways to make it. I'm the type of person, when something's not working out, I change it up. And I'm like, I got to find ways to make it work, whether I have to do this, that, I'm going to make it. And I got to keep pursuing it. Fortunately, not a lot of people have that mentality. It's very few. They think they do. And then after a couple of years, when everything's going wrong for them, they stop. And I learned when everything's going wrong for you, that's when you should keep going, because you're doing something right, So, yeah, 10 years here, I've had a lot of my downfalls and a lot of my ups. And for anyone who's trying to go for it, try it, because you only live once and you live on this earth temporarily and nothing is forever. So try it, try it. It doesn't matter the age, doesn't matter where you come from or your background. Try it,
What's been like the craziest thing that's happened to you since you've moved to LA? Like, do you have like something like that's taken place, or maybe somebody said something to you that's just been like wild? Because you said a few minutes ago, like, get on a set and stuff like that. When I first came there, those two people that had said that were moving to LA and were kind of the catalyst for me moving got me a job as a production assistant on a TV show called Scare Tactics. And then I was the on-set PA to Shannon Doherty, who was the host of the show. And we set up her trailer and and she pulls in and so on, and she's in her trailer. She calls me over and she's like, yeah, Vaughn, is that your name, Vaughn? She's like, yeah, I need to talk to you for a second. I'm like, all right. So I'm like, I'm dead, because I hadn't even met her yet. She's calling me into her trailer. And at the time, Shannon Doherty kind of had a reputation, for being a bit of a tough cookie. And here I am already getting called into her trailer, and we haven't even started shooting yet. And she says, yeah, I might have to edit this out, but she's... She says, yeah, there's a Anal All-Stars video in the player in the trailer. Do you know who that is? I don't know who that belongs to. Whoever was here filming before, because I don't know these things. Somebody left it. We don't check these things. So for me, and I hadn't even moved there yet. I was there looking for a house, and then I was coming back in a month. So I hadn't even gotten to LA, and I was like, this place is going to be crazy. I can't wait to get out here. So that's my craziest, off the top of my head, LA story. I actually have a couple, because I used to work at the Beverly Hills Hotel. So there's always crazy stuff there. But what's been like the craziest stuff or instance or experience that you've had in the 10 years that you've been there?
The craziest story I had was a Brad Pitt story. So with this story, it was this movie set of Babylon. I was hired there as an extra. My job is just to be an extra. And what happened was, you're not allowed to take photos of any of the actors. And you know this. You sign confidential. On set, you can't do that. So I didn't break that rule. We were outside the set, you know, and Brad Pitt was outside. I was outside. And I remember talking to this elderly lady. She was also an actress. And she was telling me, how do I, you know, meet people in LA? Because she's kind of new into the acting. And I was like, yeah, you just go up to people and you just be yourself, you know, and don't let anyone say anything else. And she's like, okay. And behind me was Brad Pitt. So she goes up to Brad Pitt. And she's like, hey, Brad, can I take a picture? And Brad Pitt is like, oh, are you vaccinated? Are you vaccinated? Because if you're not, I can't take a picture. And she's like, I promise you, I am vaccinated. And then he's like, oh, okay. And they take a picture. And then in my head, and then Brad Pitt is like passing by me. And in my head, I'm like, oh, shit, I need to ask him. And I'm like, hey, Brad, can we take a photo? And he's like, okay. So I take a photo. I'm taking a picture, and he's like smirking in the picture. And I'm like, thank you, Brad. But the story's not over yet. I was so excited. I posted the picture on Instagram, and you're not allowed to do that. The picture blew up. Literally blew up on the internet. Everyone saw it. Everyone kept reposting it. They're saying, oh, actor Yakov working with Brad Pitt on the movie Babylon. They took it out of context, you know? So they started posting it everywhere. Then somebody commented on that photo saying, hey, is Tobey Maguire going to be in the new Spider-Man movie? Because Tobey Maguire was on the set of Babylon. And as a joke, I said, yes, he's going to be in the new Spider-Man. This is before Spider-Man came out. Then the story gets even bigger. It's like all the way, it's going to Mexico, Russia, Philippines, all over the world. I'm like in articles because I said yes as a joke. So it got I was trending for 2 months on Twitter like crazy and around the world. This is before Spider-Man 3 came out. So then Brad Pitt's lawyer calls my agent to take the picture down. And I told my agent at the time that it's too late. Look at the news.
Yeah. It's been out.
It's been out. The funny thing is I've you know, Brad Pitt is someone I looked up to because I have a picture of him on my wall growing up. So meeting him in person was so real. And everyone who I meet every day, they're like, oh my God, I need to shake your hand because you met Brad Pitt. And it's crazy because he's a superstar, you know?
Yeah. He's top shelf for sure. That's a crazy story. It's amazing because that's how quick and easy, especially now, obviously, things can just blow up. Just one little thing can happen and your whole life can change as a result of that. And that's kind of what happened for you. I'm sure you probably gained a fair number of followers and so on just based off of that alone, because people want to, you know, they want to see what you're going to post next and who's he going to talk to now and what kind of information does this guy have. How the hell does he know that Tobey Maguire is going to be Spider-Man? Like, so everybody's listening. What you said you were a background actor. I know that industry all too well. It was crazy doing that. Now we're in this world of AI and so on, and this is part of the strike issue that was going on. And I didn't even realize that this was happening to me, but it happened to me on a set on a film that I don't want to say what it is, but they scanned my body, and this was a couple years ago. They scanned me, right? So now they can basically use my scanned image and put me in anything as a background actor, as an extra, or whatever the case may be. Is there like a big fear out there of that now? I mean, maybe even for yourself personally, like, because I know that extra work I can't imagine that it's as lucrative or as available as it was, 15 years ago because of this AI aspect. And it's obviously going to get bigger and bigger. I saw something with the new Chat GPT 40 that is a big problem. What are your thoughts on that? Anything? I mean, is it affecting you guys?
Well, the thing with background work, I believe we still need it. It's great because, it kind of brings that feeling when you're watching a movie with different characters in the background. It's not going to be AI generated where it feels, people will know, hey, it's like it feels robotic. When you have that live audience, which I pray that we still have, it always makes it authentic. It always makes it look like a certain way. And the good thing about having background is sometimes, like if a director or an actor goes like, hey, I want that background to be in the scene with me, it plays out very well. And that happens a lot in a lot of movies that's happened, over the years, or TV shows. And it creates a character, it creates a feeling. The thing about AI, it's something new and people are just experimenting with it, Obviously, it's going to affect certain people and certain jobs, but it doesn't mean that AI is going to take over. It's just a new discovery, and I feel like people are afraid of it, which we should be, but I don't think it's going to take over background work for such a long time, because people will still bring that back. It's just this new thing studios are testing out to see if people like it. Hollywood is all about testing. It's about testing technology. It's always been like that. It's all about testing new things and see how it works, But as we see what's going on, that we tried the streaming platforms and it's not working very well. So Hollywood slowly is going back to television format, and it's everything is a test. Until that test fails, then they go back to the old system of what it used to be. You know what I mean? Kind of like when when virtual reality came out, those glasses, a lot of people would buy it. So many people would buy it, and it was a big thing. And then people just got, they're like, okay, it's cool. And then they stopped using it. And then they did this new virtual reality. It doesn't mean it's going to stay forever. It's just this new thing they're trying. Just like electric cars, it's this new thing they're trying, but it's not working. So they're going back to gas cars, they're going back to other kind of form of cars. So everything is a test. And I think people get scared of that, which is great. You should be, because it affects everyone. It affects big businesses. It affects everything. Just like AI, we should be scared, but I believe that it's not going to work for the long run. It's going to be here for a short amount of time, but it's not going to replace actors for that long.
That's interesting to hear that. I like to hear that because I don't have my finger on the pulse of LA like I used to. Obviously, I don't live there. So to hear you say that means a lot, because you predicted that Tobey Maguire was going to be in Spider-Man film, based off of a picture with Brad Pitt. So that's our hot take. I trust what you're saying. So I like to hear what you're saying when you say that, because I saw, is it Soros? Is that not Soros? Soren or something like that? I forget what it's called, but there's some new software out. Bro, this looks really damn good. I mean, I'm really impressed when I see it. So to see that and and that's brand new. That's scary. So I didn't even think people watched television anymore. Do you even own a TV? Like, seriously, I'm asking you because you're 29, maybe almost 30 or whatever. My understanding of people in your demographic, your generation, you don't watch TV. So you said TV, we're going back to TV. But did you even grow up really watching TV? I feel like you guys are always on your phone like this. Just like this. You're on your phone. You're talking, your parents are like, what are you doing? You go like this with your phone, and then you're back on your phone. That's just how we saw you guys. So you really think TV's making a comeback? I thought it was dead.
Yes, it's slowly making a comeback. It is. I believe it is slowly coming back around. They're like Netflix, for example, is starting to do live television for sports,
Mm,
you know,
mm, mm.
and they're gonna do it for the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul fight, where they're gonna do that live on July, which is amazing, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna come back around. Um, the technology with the social media, I'll be honest, people are going to get bored out of that because they're going to see the same clips, the same stuff over and over, and it's kind of regenerating the same stuff, you know. So television will come back, maybe not as fast as we want it to come back, but it's going to come back slowly, and it's going to come back better, you know. Somehow Hollywood studios, such as myself, one day will discover how we can get people back to watching television and watching movies. You know, a good example last year summer, Hollywood made so much money through Barbie and Oppenheimer. They made billions of dollars from that. You know, and people kept saying no one's going to the theater. That was like the biggest theater, sellout ever,
Mm.
because they helped, social media helped market that movie in theaters. So somehow there's going to be people who will be smart about marketing. They're going to influence the young generation. And then somehow they're going to create a better television system for us, that's going to be hologram. And then people are going to go back to that. Something's going to happen where it's going to shift back to watching TV and movies again.
Bro, the second you said they're going to create something better, immediately the first thing that jumped into my head was the Apple goggle, and then you said hologram. So I think maybe, I don't know if we'll be walking around watching TV on something like that, but I think we might be walking around watching TV on something like that. I sincerely think that we're
Yeah.
going to have TV goggles. I mean, it makes too much sense. And we can share the screens, or whatever the feed, we can both watch it at the same time, or however that's going to work. I mean, smarter people will figure that out, and that's not for me to work out. But yeah, I think that's an interesting ideology. What do you think about? I was having a conversation with some people about AI. I always like to take the conspiratorial steel man argument aspect of it. I want to try and make you guys have a conversation about something you're not talking about. And the thing that we discussed was, and this was actually just back home when I was in Michigan, and AI being able to this is how we get people back to the theaters and to TV. An AI version of you. You're not an actor. You're just Yakov that works at 24-hour fitness or whatever. You've saved up some money. Amazon Studios, Netflix Studios, whoever has a new TV show coming out, or whatever it is. Maybe they're taking old films or old sitcoms, and they'll scan you, and they'll bring your body into the film, your body into the TV show, and they'll make you move around like you will for real, and those characters that were already in the film are now interacting with you. Do you think that might be something that people would pay for or would be interested in, getting themselves somehow AI augmented and then entered into production, even if it's a new project?
Yes, I'm sure people would be interested in that. I mean, they've been doing motion capture. That's kind of like AI. Is the same thing. Not the same thing, but technology wise, of course, people are going to be interested in that. But you can only do so many stories with that. That's something. I mean, I've done in the past. Like I've done it for like a company where they scan my face and they put me in different languages around the world, or talking a different accent. I've done that work before, and it's great. If they can do that, awesome, do it. But also, I know that a lot of creative directors, they wouldn't want that. A lot of creative directors who have a lot of money, they don't want to do that. They want to do the physical, aspect of people, having you on set, interacting, But it's great to have that, the AI generated thing where the actor, if he doesn't want to go out there, he could just put his face and they could wander around this new universe. Great, do it. You know what I mean? But I feel like that's going to take much longer to produce than a Hollywood movie where you can get it, with real people. You can get that down faster and easier and do more creative stuff easily with that.
I did a project up in Scotland, in Scotland. Was it a year or so ago? And they were working on these film over 5G. It was a test shoot. But there was instead of using green screen, they were testing LED screens. So we had these massive LED panels that looked like a scene, and we shot it in Dundee, Scotland. That night, I went down from Dundee with half the production team to Manchester, England, and we reshot it the next day. Same LED screen in Manchester as they had in Dundee, but we shot it over 5G. So I have the camera I have in front of me now. I have you there, but there was a screen there, and the actress is still in Dundee up in Scotland, and now I'm in England. And when you watch it, it doesn't even look like we're not sat right across from each other in the table. It's actually up for an award at the Cannes Film Festival this year. So,
wow. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't even know. They told her, and she told me a couple weeks ago. I would have gone to Cannes if I'd have known. But so it's kind of a big deal. It's not AI. But I think it's similar to what we were saying. I think you're right about the AI aspect. I want to direct people. There's something different about, you can't block a shot off with a robot that's not even there or something like that. So,
we're social beings. We're social beings, and we can even, this whole AI interaction is just going to be, it's a new thing. Just like anything in life, we're going to get bored out of it and go back to socializing and interacting with people. We're humans. We want to try new things. So we're going to try this new AI things. But at the end of the day, scientifically, we're all social beings. We have to interact with people. That's what keeps our sanity,
Hope you're right, man. Your predictions have gone right so far. Let's hope you keep up the track record and keep those people engaging. So tell us again where we can find your show, your social media. I'll have the link below, obviously, but where can people go to find you on social media? And tell us when and where, again, they can go and see the film.
So the movie will be playing in Los Angeles, California on June 6th at 7:30 p.m. It's going to be a great night. It's going to have drinks. We get to mingle. You get to take pictures with the stars. After the movie, there will be a Q&A session for you to ask questions and also interact with the actors and the director and me as well. It's going to be a fun night, red carpet. It's going to be a lot of talented people in that
where
venue.
in LA can they go see it? Where is the meet and greet and all that taking place?
So if you go to my social media on Instagram, on my bio link, and also there's tons of posts about it, you can click on it. It's on Eventbrite. You can look at the link, and it'll tell you the address and everything after you purchase the ticket. It'll tell you where to go. It's $20 for the ticket. You can bring your friends, whoever you want. It'll be a funny movie, rom-com, like I said. So it'll be a fun night. It's going to be in LA on a Thursday night. It's going to be a 3-hour event. There's going to be drinks. You get to mingle with everyone and ask me a lot of questions. I'll be there. It'll be an amazing event. So on my social media is going to be at my first name dot my last name. So it's going to be Yakov.Kolontarov. You go there on Instagram, you'll find me, and you'll see all the details about the event. And if you can't find the details, just write in Google, She Goes to Hollywood, red carpet premiere, and you will see all the details there of where to go and what to buy. And you can always DM me on Instagram. I'm always looking at the messages there. So, yeah, I'll give you a response there as well.
So go check this guy out. go check out his film. The link's below. If you're listening, the link is in the bio if you're on the Spotify or if you're on Apple Podcasts. So thanks for joining us today, Yakov. I look forward to hearing. Will they be able to see it? Say they can't get to the premiere. Like, I can't get to the premiere. I live in another country. Is it going to be available somewhere, like on a website afterwards, or is it then get shopped, or how does that work before you release it?
Yes, after the premiere, this movie will be out. It's not out yet, but once it will be out to the public very soon on different platforms. But for now, we're going to do this premiere, and as soon as this movie's over and distribution gives us a date of where it's going to be playing around the world, different platforms, then I will post on social media where it's playing so people can go watch it and talk about it. So it'll be greatly appreciated if people can come to Los Angeles and watch it, because I want to meet everyone. You can even come around the world. One of the actresses we had, she actually came from Netherlands to be in my movie. so I would love to have people around the world come and watch the movie in the event. It'll be fun.
Nice. Much love to you, man, and big support. I hope it does really well. I'll definitely be looking for it. If you ever need an older American guy to come and do a film, I'd happily come back to LA. I'm always getting asked, when are you coming back to LA so we can go to Magic Mountain and do this and do that and do this? Like, as soon as I have a reason, actually my driver's license expires next year, so I actually have a built-in reason to get my butt back to LA so that I can keep my California driver's license, because it's just a status symbol to walk around with an LA license when you live in another country. They go, "Oh, you're from California." I'm like, not really, but yeah, I'm from California, so right this way, So it's
True.
cool. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. If you're out there listening, go check out Yakov's website. Check out his social medias, you guys. Go check out this film. If you can't make it to LA, get it however you can get it. And we appreciate your support. Vaughn Joseph Show. We are back on the spots and the Apple Pods. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Peace.
These ones or these ones?
Saw an episode of Intervention. And I know I'm fine.
Illinois, Mr. Robert Bobby McNeely. He is going to join us tonight.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the show. My name is Elaine Zhang, and today I am here with Eli Seal, documentary filmmaker.
I need more. Welcome to The Only Way is Linda. Today I have a really special guest here.